Hey guys. Better? Can you guys hear me in the back? Okay, well, welcome. This is really exciting for us. This is our first new, just want to make sure I'm standing in the right place where you guys can all see me. We've got this pole right here. This is our first new student, new family welcome, and it's great to see so many of you here today. We weren't sure what kind of turnout we would get. So this is absolutely fantastic. So thank you for doing double duty. We know that you guys have to come tomorrow as well, and I really appreciate you guys coming out so that we can meet you guys and then hopefully answer any questions that you may have about our school. So the purpose of tonight is to, you guys have all made the very difficult decision of choosing a school that you trust for your child's high school years. It's a very difficult decision. I really appreciate all of you guys making the decision to come with us. And so you've seen all of our, what we have on our website. You've seen our brochure. And today we just want to be real. And my hope and my belief is that what you're going to find is that the real school, the one that doesn't have the spit and polish that's on the website and in the brochure, is even better than the one that we've been putting there. And so this is going to give you a chance to meet some of the staff here. So let me introduce the staff that is here right now. So I'm Dr. McCurdy to the students, Neil McCurdy to the parents, and I'm the principal of the school. And Mr. McClendon here is our assistant principal. And then we have Ms. Romero over there, who's our director of special education. And so, so we gave the teachers the night off because they've got a long day tomorrow to deal with registration. But so you'll have plenty of opportunities to meet them tomorrow. And Tom was here somewhere, I don't know where he went. And you guys have met Trish, so she is, works at our front desk as the office manager. Is she coming out or is she? Trish. Tom. So this is Miss Trish, so she's our office manager, and she is new this year. She's in her second or third month, and she's got a crazy, overwhelming, large job, and so she's done a fantastic job so far, and so please be kind to her, and know that she's dealing with a lot right now, but she's a smiley, happy person, so I'm sure that she'll make you guys all feel great. And then behind her, we've got Dr. Cesarini, who's our Chief Business Officer, and so you may or may not, he does a lot of things behind the scenes, so you may or may not see him much here at school. But
nice to see you
he's
all.
here tonight, so thank you for coming, Tom.
Is it time for our song and dance?
Oh, Ms. Ross, is she?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you there the whole time?
No.
Oh.
She was there.
So Ms. Rosu is one of our special education teachers, and so if anyone has any questions about special education, then she and Ms. Romero can help you out. So, so let's talk a little bit about what our school really is. So I think what you're going to find is that we've got an entire staff that is 100% committed to the students here on campus. And everything that we do, every decision that we make is based off of what we think is going to be the right decision for the students on this campus. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a synopsis of the things that we've been working on over the summer to hopefully prove to you guys that that is indeed the case. So Mr. McClendon and I spent the summer reading a book on restorative practices and another book on growth mindset. There we go. I forgot the word there for a second. On growth mindset. And so the really good news with the restorative practices book that we read is that we read through this and said, yeah, we do that, yeah, we do that, yeah, we do that. And so what we did during our staff development days, so last week we had a week-long session with our teachers where we did professional development and we worked on the things that we need to do in order to improve our school. And one of our sessions was on restorative practices and making sure that the things that we do at the administration level in terms of really trying to look at the whole student, understanding that students make mistakes, and finding ways to prevent the students from making mistakes and have buy-in into the community, we want to make sure that is carried out throughout the entire school. And so that the teachers are doing this in the classroom and making sure that we're building relationships with the students and the students are building relationships with each other so that we can prevent discipline problems before they ever become an issue. So that's restorative practices. Growth mindset. So a lot of you may have already heard about the ideas of growth mindset. And growth mindset is basically the idea that we as human beings are always able to learn new things, and our brains are plastic, meaning they're malleable, and that we can learn new things all the time. And so the difference between a growth mindset language and non-growth mindset language is that growth mindset, you say, I can, or I'm not good at this yet, but I will be, instead of saying, you know, I suck at math. That's the one that we always hear. And we want to make sure that our students are recognizing and realizing that they have the capacity to learn anything. And it's really just the amount of time that they're willing, the time and energy that they're willing to put into it that makes the difference. But it's not just the students, it's also we as a staff thinking about our own language, and you as parents thinking about your language that you use, and making statements like, oh, you know, I was never good at writing essays either. That's basically giving the students an excuse that, no, I don't actually have to try here, and it's a fixed mindset mentality, and we're trying really hard to make sure that everything that all the language that the students hear at our school is all growth mindset language. So, I might have to pull out my notes in a second. Another thing that we spent a lot of time on was trying to figure out how we're going to have this new idea of our Passion Talk / Passion Project time work. And for those of you who don't know anything about this yet, this is going to be awesome this year. We're so excited. The Passion Talks are every Tuesday. We're going to have amazing speakers speaking to our students about their passions. And these are I wish I should have printed out a list so I could give you some of the names of the speakers that we have lined up for this first couple months. But these are people who are premier either business people in San Diego, or they're scientists, or they're great thinkers. And we had these talks last year, but the problem last year was that we had them during first period, and most of our students had class during first period, and so they could never actually attend. And so this year we've set it up so that the Passion Talks are happening right in the middle of the day, and we have it set up so that any student can go to any talk anytime they want. But we also have passion projects that are running concurrently, and so if for some reason a talk isn't of interest to a student, then they can work on their passion projects instead during that time. And so I want you guys to know, the students here, that this is a time where you can decide to just sit back and learn from these speakers. And I can tell you that last year I learned a ton of things from the speakers. This is basically people trying to distill everything that they've learned in their entire lives and giving a 1-hour talk to our students and trying to impart all of their wisdom in that 1 hour. And so you get really, really fantastic insight into what makes people tick and how they became so hyper successful. And so I learned a ton of things from these talks last year, and every time I was there I was thinking, oh man, I wish the entire school could hear this. And so this year we've made it so that the entire school can hear that, so that's really exciting. The Passion Projects, these are projects that the students are going to be working in teams on, so 3 or 4 students on a team, and they're going to be working with faculty mentors, faculty advisors on projects, and the hope is that the students are going to, we're basically giving them that 20% time. I don't know if you guys have heard about Google employees who have 20% of their day they're allowed to work on some project that is not something that their manager requires them to do. It's just something, it's a passion project basically. And so what we're doing is we're giving the students that opportunity to do that here at school, where they have some undirected time where they can actually work on the projects. And so for the parents in here, so if you're worried like, oh my goodness, are they just going to be doing nothing during that time? So we've actually, one of the things that we worked on last week was figuring out the structure to make sure that this actually was going to be successful. And so remember that if there is no passion project for the students to work on, they've got something that is super, super special for them to be doing, which is watching these passion talks. And so we've got something for everybody. And so we're really excited about how we've managed to structure this and then also get introduce the passion part of what we think is so important in our school. And speaking of passion, one of the other things that we did last week was figure out how we can make sure that our entire school is reoriented and centered around our new, what are called ESLERs, so the Expected School-Wide Learner Results. And these are the things that, the characteristics that we expect graduates from our school to have by the time they graduate. And so something that we want to make sure that all of our incoming students, incoming freshmen, that they learn this right away, and so that they can work on building the skill set all through their 4 years here at SET. And so our ESLERs are, are based off of the acronym SET UP, and so we play with the word set up for success. And so the S is social responsibility. This is going to be really impressive. I'm going to be able to do this without even looking at my notes, guys. Social responsibility, effective leadership, technology as a tool, uncertainty as opportunity, and passion, purpose, and performance. And so you can already see how we've figured out how to really nail in on that passion part by having these passion projects be part of our, a central part of our curriculum here at SET. So I think I'm going to have to look at my notes. You're going to have to bear with me for a second. Okay, so I just want to make one more comment, and then I'm going to open this up to have you guys ask us questions. This is really our time to start be thinking about the questions that you might have about our school. This is our opportunity to answer any questions that you might have, any hesitations that you might have, any doubts, any you want to talk about your excitement. This right here is the community that is going to be the community of our future, and so I'm hoping that whenever we have any kind of family get-togethers, parent meetings, that we see all of your faces here as the new families at our school, so that we can make sure that we take this energy and we use this energy throughout the 4 years that, or I know we've got some older students who are also here, but their time here at SET High. And so I want to make a quick comment to the students here that recognize and realize that the fact that your parents are here right now is huge. They are making a strong commitment to your education by the very fact that they're here tonight supporting you. By the fact that they went through the effort of looking for an alternate school environment for you also shows that. And these 4 years are difficult 4 years in life. Life is difficult anyway. But as you guys are going through the teenage years and dealing with the stresses and anxiety of growing up and learning how to be an individual, you're going to need a lot of support. And I want you guys to know that we here as a staff are your support network. Don't think of it as us versus them. Don't think of your class as, me, the student, versus the teacher. We are all here to serve you guys, to help you guys, and to help you guys navigate this difficult time in your lives. And my hope is that this is not going to be a difficult time in your lives, and that this is going to be the best years in your life. And there's no reason why it can't be that, and it especially can be that if you guys are open and receptive to the help that we as a staff here can give you, and that your families can give you as well. So this is a time when students tend to push away from their families a little bit as they try to form their own identities. You don't have to do that just because everyone else is doing it. You don't have to push your parents away. Use them as the rock and the support that's going to help you navigate these difficult times. So that's the last thing that I wanted to say about that. Oh, actually there's one more thing. So one more thing that we talked about during our professional development days last week. So we spent a whole day talking about how to handle fragile students, emotionally fragile students. And so that's, we recognize that this was a really important a thing that we need to do, that we need to be trained on how to handle students who are dealing with the stresses and anxieties of high school life. And so just know that you students, that you've got support of every one of the teachers here, and we know how to talk to you, we know how to handle your problems, and if we don't, then we know who we can talk to and who we can pass you on to potentially help. And we've got Ms. Romero over there, who's our school psychologist, as well as being the director of special education, and so she's always available to talk to if you, for some reason, don't feel like you can talk to me or Mr. McClendon. So I'm going to hand the mic off to Mr. McClendon, and so he can say a few words. He didn't know I was going to hand the mic to him, so he might just say hi, which is fine, or he might decide to expound a little bit on some of the things that I've said here. You know, perhaps restorative practice, that might be a good hint. But we also, you know, if you guys have any questions, this is also the time to, you know, raise your hand and ask questions if anything that I've said tonight has resonated with you or given you any concern.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So I guess you guys don't know me very well, but some of the people do, and they said good evening fairly loudly because they know me. So we're going to try that one more time.
Good evening.
No overachievers here. Just relax. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you. Thank you. One of the things that I just wanted to say, I mean, yeah, we do a lot of things with restorative practices, and that's just the way we do things. We are firm believers in teaching the kids, not just going straight to punishment or anything else. There are consequences to actions and choices that they make, but they need to learn about these things. I mean, I'm always reading about the brain and what kids are doing and why they're doing things. So that's why we do what we do, right? And so we want to make sure that you guys understand that and make sure that all the students know, incoming students, students from before, that our offices are always open. Me being the assistant principal here, normally I'm the guy that's the guy that when kids get in trouble, but I always tell students that if you ever watch my office, if every kid that walked in there was in trouble, we have a whole lot of kids in trouble. But they just come in there just to talk. But the real key, I guess, of what Dr. McCurdy was saying, and what I'm saying, and what Ms. Romero lives by is that we're a community and we're a family. And you know, you hear the old adage about it takes a village. We basically live that each and every day. So if you guys have issues, concerns, questions, whatever, just come contact us. Don't wait, and this is for the parents as well as the students. Do not wait. I mean, come find out. We expect the kids to start stepping up and understanding that they are the ones that are responsible for their education, and that they're the ones that can make a difference in their life. But they need to choose that and choose wisely. So, what I'm going to do now, instead of going on forever and ever, which I can do, is open it up to questions. Any questions? No, not you. Go ahead.
Yes, I did notice the website was very slick, very professionally done, and the investment you did with it. So it looks like you're projecting for growth. Do you have any ideas, or can you give us an idea what your projections are for growth in the next 5 years or so?
Yeah, so I can tell you that our commitment right now is to make sure that this is the best school. There's not a member of our staff on our board that doesn't believe that we are going to be one of the premier schools in San Diego and hopefully the nation. And but understanding that us getting there doesn't mean that we leave the kids behind. So I'm super student centric, and so if for some reason that growth is going to somehow hurt our students, then we're not going to be doing that. The growth for this particular building, so we're capped at 320 students in this building. We have about 250 students that are going to be in the building this year. And so we can expect a little bit of growth until we get to the 320. Then we're going to be capped. And ideally, we become an amazing school, and the model is successful, and we replicate it. But the intent right now is to keep the community small. I'm a firm believer that the schools have to be small in order to actually serve the students. And I know a lot of you guys are here or perhaps have been thinking about alternative schooling environments because of issues that you've had in the larger public schools. And I can tell you that I don't believe that there's anything inherently wrong with what the staff are doing in the larger public schools. I think it's just a matter of how large the community becomes and how many students are in that community. And I've dealt with having a double classroom for a couple days and just taking attendance takes forever. And the way that you have to structure things is very different because in order to manage 35 kids in a classroom, might not seem like it's that many more than the 25, but it's huge, and you have to structure things differently, and the kids now suddenly have to be all put into rows and things so that you can make sure that they're there, so you're not wasting all this time taking a roll. And then it's so much harder to actually have those relationships with the students. And so we're always going to be committed to having the small classes, and I like having the small school. Me as principal here, I like knowing every student on campus. I like knowing what problems they're having and noticing that they look a little bit different today and being able to talk to them and find out that there's something going on that ordinarily would get missed. Yeah?
Do you guys have access to school buses?
So the question was, do we have access to school buses? So unfortunately, we do not have access to school buses. We do give bus passes, so we rely on the public transportation alternatives in order to get here. And so for students who have the need and are sufficiently far away from campus, so if you're just a couple blocks and you could walk, we don't give the bus passes. But that's actually, I've actually been really impressed when I, every once in a while we have a field trip and the students who have the bus passes, I realize that how freeing it is to have a bus pass. They can really go anywhere in San Diego, and most of us are stuck, even if you have cars, you can't go that far because you're worried about traffic and things, but the students who have the bus passes, they know the entire city, they go exploring, so it's actually a really nice service that we offer. Sorry that we don't have buses though.
I have a Durango, so I'm usually a bus.
Mike, I'm not enough. Okay. Mike. Do you guys offer a cafeteria, lunches, as far as nutritional and what's currently being?
Yeah, so we do have school lunches. They're going to start September 11th this year. So for the first couple weeks, please make sure that you provide your child with food. We use the San Diego Unified Lunch program, so it's a hot lunch. I don't know if you guys have met Miss Jessie. She's not here tonight, but she's also in the front office there, and so she runs our lunch program. And she was just really excited today because she said that there are some new offerings, and she thinks that the kids are going to like the food much better. So it's a school lunch, but it's food. So
Is there a cafeteria also, in case they wanted other, or no?
Yeah, so there's no. So the question was, is there a cafeteria also? And the answer is no. So basically this is where we eat, and then the food gets served over there. But there's no options for buying food. So it's kind of interesting if you were as a relatively new school offering lunch. So we've been around for a while, but new to actually using the San Diego Unified Lunch. It's amazing how difficult it is to actually follow all of the lunch rules because there's no compete clauses, and so you can't actually legally serve other food that you're not giving away for free to the students who qualify for free and reduced lunch. So I don't understand how some of these bigger schools offer those other options, but it appears not to be legal, so we're stuck right now following the letter of the law. And for me, it's actually the right decision because it's not really fair to have the students who can't afford the food to be sitting there watching somebody have a McDonald's Big Mac next to them. Yeah, I was going to say that happens anyway because usually with Uber Eats now, so a lot of our students have food delivered to them. Yeah, do you want the mic? Or?
I see they have microwaves over here. Is that for the student use as
Yes. Yeah, so the microwaves over here are for student use. There's usually a line there. There's 4 of them normally. I'm not sure why we only have 3, but we'll make sure that there's 4.
How is PE being done now?
Oh, I'm glad you asked that. So I was hoping that I'd have more of an update for you on PE. So the answer for the, what was that? Oh, Coach Brown. Yeah, so Coach Brown actually does not do PE. You would think he would, but no, he does not.
I have options.
Yeah, he does have options. You can play sports and get PE credit. No, but so the way PE is working, so for the freshmen, so there's that strength of mind body class that you saw, so that actually is a PE credit, that class. And so what we're trying to do with that class is not just have it be about the physical health, but also have it be mental health. And Mrs. Geis is an awesome, awesome teacher, and so I think, Mrs. Geis, yeah, sorry, is an awesome, awesome teacher, and so I think you guys, the freshmen in the room, are going to love that class. And then for the remainder of the students, I'll be sending out an email soon. One of my projects, I happen to be a computer scientist as well, and so I spent the last few weeks of the summer recognizing and realizing that we had issues with our scheduling program and that we weren't catching errors, and so all those errors that you saw in the schedules, that was my handiwork over the last couple weeks. And so that's going to make it much smoother going forward for us to do the scheduling, so we're not relying on humans who unfortunately make mistakes sometimes. We'll actually have those errors get caught way ahead of time so we can not have problems going forward. But anyway, I was going to use that time to work on the way that we're going to be tracking PE for that second year of PE, which is going to be basically keeping track of steps. And so we're going to be, students can either use their own step trackers, or we'll have step trackers that we issue to you, and then there's going to be a system where it's basically 15 consecutive weeks of making sure that you're meeting whatever step goals are appropriate for the grade that you're trying to get in PE. And so the idea here is to what we used to do is we used to offer independent study PE, and that was basically parents signing pieces of paper saying that, yeah, my kid did a little bit of work, did a little bit of athletic, something that was athletic. And this, we're trying to actually, quantify it a little bit. The step trackers are actually, and make it kind of more like a game for the students. So it's certainly something that we value. It was a really tough decision this year to decide not to offer the PE class. But as a small school, there's only, the choice really was, are we going to be offering PE, or are we going to be offering some of these great leadership and entrepreneurial kinds of classes? And so that's how we made that decision. If you have any questions about that, I'm happy to answer. Yeah, let me introduce Coach Brown. So he's still busy trying to get our school ready. By the way, there's an incredible amount of effort went into getting this room looking halfway decent. And so if you do wind up taking a tour around the school, you might see that there's still some paint that hasn't quite been finished. And so we're we're a little overzealous this summer in terms of the projects that we took on. And so we've got a bunch of new rooms and rooms that have been changed. And so anyway, so Coach Brown, he's got screws in his hands, so he's obviously been working.
So, good evening. How's everybody?
We're good.
Good. So I'm going to embarrass some people, so be ready. Be used to it. All my volleyball girls, please stand up. Go ahead, stand up. Stand up. Good. Stay standing, stay standing. All my cross-country runners, stand up. I think I got 1, 2, there you go. So, and I got one getting ready. Thank you. Okay, you guys can sit down. So, the reason why I did that is because school has not started, but athletics have. We are out there running, sweating, and getting ready for the school year, and I appreciate all you ladies and gentlemen that are doing so. I really, really do, as the athletic director and coach of some of the sports. If you're interested in sports, it's not too late. You guys can come see me. I'll be available. I'm always around. And if you're looking for PE credits, I'm also the one you possibly could come see because I have lots of sports that you can participate in. I'm just going to go down real quick because I know I want to be brief. I have bowling, boys and girls volleyball, boys and girls track, boys and girls cross country, boys and girls basketball, and I'm offering co-ed golf. I will go over them again later, but if you heard something you might want, that's cool. If you did not hear something you like, please let me know. But I will let you know that if you're asking me about baseball, football, hockey, what's that thing? Field hockey? Yeah, or lacrosse. We might not have that. Soccer might not have that this year, but I can work on it.
Well, we're not going to have football, period.
Right.
So you don't even bother asking.
Yes.
What about swim?
Swim. That's in my couple-year picture, so it might not be this year, but I'm definitely going to get you guys in the pool because getting you guys in the pool will lead to my next sport I want to do is crew. So if I can get you guys swim qualified, then I can also get you in a boat. So that's my big plan and my big picture. If you think you can't make it, there's lots of kids here who've never played the sport and are making my teams and doing great, and we're going to do awesome. So don't let non-activity make you afraid. Come see me, we'll make it happen. If I haven't introduced my son, but my son's in the hallway. He never touched a basketball team-wise before the sport, and as you see, half the banners on the wall are his, and we still have 2 that are not up on the wall. So be brave, try out, and we'll see what we can do.
Thanks, Coach. If I didn't answer questions for a while. If I don't know the answer, I can make something up. I know Mrs. Romero would like to answer some questions too. Questions? Don't be shy. Yes?
So if your child belongs to an extracurricular sports thing, how do you work that out?
That's a great question. So kids can play sports. I have one here that's in a club team, Intensity, local basketball team. That's really, really awesome. And you can play sports all year long. You just cannot compete in the club sport during the school's season at the same time. So I'm going to use basketball. If you play basketball, you can be on a club team, but when our basketball starts and you're on my team, you can't play them both at the same time. But other than that, we don't interfere. And that's CIF rules.
And then, so how would you, if you want to use that as PE credits, how would you transfer that over?
So there's, so I was just thinking about that because when you asked that question, I was going to say, oh, you just wear the fitness tracker, but my son plays soccer and he probably is not allowed to wear the fitness tracker while he's playing. So I think, I'm thinking on my feet right here, but I think we'll have some kind of override for that where, because I know that in those practices, they're already easily getting the number of steps that they need for the entire day, so we'll have something where the parent can just put in a little note saying, no steps, but was in sports.
We can get sign off from the coaches and wherever they're playing anyway. We can do that and that'll fulfill the requirement there. The other thing I wanted to say too about athletics is first and foremost, we are an academic institution. Okay, I mean, I played sports all my life, but I'll tell you, when it comes to school and sports, school's here, sports are here. You know, I do enjoy sports, but I don't care about the banners up there unless we're basically looking at the whole child, looking at the holistic approach to the child. So Coach Brown walks around, he's here he works here. So he's here all the time, probably a lot more than 24 hours. But anyway, he goes around, he checks grades. He looks at the grades. When the grades start nearing a C, even though you're still eligible, he's got an issue. And he's talking to parents, he's talking to the students. So I just want to make sure that you know that a lot of times parents get concerned about are they doing too much. And we're going to be leaning towards academics and making sure that they are taking care of their schoolwork first.
Where's the athletic areas? Fields and basketball court?
So as you have seen, we have no secret pool on the roof or anything like that. So most of our indoor sports are held at the Serra Mesa Rec Center, which is less than a mile away, and in the local areas away in home games. And then track and things that don't need fields, we usually do right here at the park. Now, it may seem interesting to how can we pull off track without a track, but we do, and we've been doing really, really good lately. So we work on things. We have deals where sometimes you'll see us at Patrick Henry and other established schools, and we'll use their track, and they'll help us out, but most of it's right here, and we work really hard. I saw a hand over here.
So if your child has an IEP, when do you expect to hear from that department and?
Great question.
question was, if your child has an IEP, when can you expect to hear from us?
Right, my understanding is that we have to have a meeting and, start all that again. How long usually is the process for you guys to do that?
So you should receive an email the first week of school, an introduction from the case manager. And then we have a 30-day interim period where we just see what kind of accommodations, courses your child need here at this site. Then after 30 days, we hold a meeting and we basically rewrite the IEP so that it makes sense here in this environment. Any other questions?
Does the school have a cell phone policy?
Right.
So one of the things that you guys will be reading, at least that you'll sign that you read, is our technology usage policy. And so I'll give you my stance on this. So gone are the days of teachers being sages on the stage, where they know everything and the students are completely reliant on the teacher for knowledge. And so any attempt to continue teaching that way is, in my mind, ludicrous. And so what we do as a school is we do our best to teach the students how to use the devices that they have in responsible manners, in a responsible manner. And it's a battle. I'm not going to pretend like we can wave the magic wand and then the device abuse that you guys see at home suddenly disappears when they're at school. So there's a constant checking with teachers and administration about appropriate use of technology on our campus. So we do allow students to bring their own devices onto campus. And the internet access, so one good thing about our school is that the phones usually have really bad reception in the building, so that's beneficial for us. And if they need access to the internet, they go through our Wi-Fi. And we actually, many years ago, I built a system that makes it so that teachers have complete control over the access level that the students have on their Wi-Fi. And what I explain to students, and so you new students here, please help make sure that anyone who's not here listening to this, make sure that you know that my interest is in having you guys have access to this amazing power of Google and YouTube, where you can learn everything or anything that you want. This is, you have access to tools that those of us who are older wish that we had access to. And the easy answer for the teachers, if the students are not doing the right things in the classroom, the easy answer for the teachers is just to close the computers. They can easily say, no, you can't use devices in my classroom. And the problem then is that now we're back to that sage on a stage world. And so my hope is that the students recognize that it's actually a privilege to be able to use these devices. And we're trying really hard to make it so that the usage of the device is appropriate for what that teacher is actually trying to do in the classroom. And so if the teacher gives you no internet, and that's one of our options, no internet, and you are trying to hack through the proxy to actually get access to the internet so you can play a video game, then you're in violation of the school rules, but more importantly, you're making that teacher not want to trust the students anymore and have them close the computers and not use those computers. And so this is really, and this is going to be the same problem that your generation is going to continue to have in college, in the workplace. You've got to be able to use the technology responsibly. Otherwise, you're going to have companies that shut down the internet so that you can't do anything at work, and that means you're not going to be able to do your job as effectively. You're going to have universities who are there's examples of universities who are saying no devices in the classroom because the professors are sick and tired of talking to a room full of people not listening to them. And so we try really hard to make sure that the students are using the devices appropriately. And I encourage you as the family and parents to help support us in this regard, and just know that occasionally we'll take a device and we'll hold it until the parent comes and picks it up. And that's not because we're mean people, that's because we're trying to actually have the devices be used appropriately at school. Did that answer your question? Yeah.
So along those lines, so my son just graduated last year. You guys used to issue laptops. Is the school still doing that?
Yeah, so we still issue laptops, but the students are allowed to bring their own devices as well. So early on, we tried to have only our devices be the devices that were used on campus, but we have to adapt and evolve with society, and this is a really tough time to be a parent because the kids have access to everything. And it's really hard to lock down the devices and keep control over what they're viewing and when they're viewing it. And so I've got kids myself who are coming of that age, and I know it's going to be a hard battle.
The collaboration suite, are you doing like an internal thing? Are you using the Docs or Office 365?
Yeah, so we're a Google site here, so we use Google Docs, and we use it extensively. So you'll see that most of the assignments the students will be turning in using Google Docs. Some of our teachers use Google Classroom. Just know that one of the challenges with Google Classroom is that it's really hard to share the lessons and things with the parents. And we try to be as open as possible. And so I got excited with Google Classroom last year and then realized that, I can't actually share what I'm doing with the parents. And so I was having to do double posting of what the assignments were. So that's one of the frustrations that hopefully will get resolved soon.
There's another app out there that Ms. Rosu had found that we may utilize that does give you access to what's going on in the classroom, and you can get all that. The other thing too that we haven't mentioned today is Power School. Probably tomorrow, if you haven't already gotten one, you'll get a Power School log on. So a lot of times parents say, well, I have no idea what's going on with my child and how they're doing in school. You'll know pretty much right after a teacher enters a grade or enters an assignment in there, you'll know, and you'll have it. And one of the things that we're also pushing is the kids to have their own Power School log-on, Power School ID, so that kids don't walk around anymore and say, Mr. McClendon, I have no idea what I need to be successful in my class.
Let me just add one more thing to that. Last year was the first year that we had our own Power School, and our system is because we have that 4x4 block schedule, things are a little bit weird in Power School just in terms of we're not quite like every other school. And I didn't find out until right at the end last year that some emails were going out to parents and indicating that there were no grades in Power School. And so if you're getting anything like that, the teachers are putting in grades all the time. So there's, I don't want to say all because there are some teachers that maybe aren't quite as good at entering in their grades, but this year we're making a commitment to be really good about this. But if you're ever in the situation where you're saying there are no grades being entered in, then there's a problem, and it's not that no grades are being put in, because we've got some teachers who are doing, the minute they get an assignment, they're putting in a grade. So please, if you get an email that looks a little bit weird and it shows that there's been no assignments, and yet that we're halfway through the semester, that there's been a ton of assignments. Most likely that email is wrong. Please let me know as soon as you find that out so I can fix the problem. So I have not done anything since I heard about that last year, and this just reminded me that I need to do something, and so please be on me if for some reason you're getting those emails. I think it was sending the grades from the wrong term, not the current term, and so we've got to figure out how to set that.
The emails may be behind anyway. Emails are normally set on a certain time duration, so if emails go out on Friday and you get that email and you wait till the next Friday, there might have been new grades that came in on Monday or Tuesday. You want to know about that? Just log on to Power School itself and look at your child's grade and what they're doing. So gone are the days when they say, well, I don't have anything to do. You'll know. You're welcome. Any other questions?
Does the school have any community involvement? Volunteer programs?
Oh, yeah.
Internships, on and on, whatever. Just curious on that aspect.
The answer to
The
the question
community.
is yes, yes, and
Yes.
yes.
All right,
So,
figured.
so awesome question, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
The question was, are we involved in our community? My cross-country team has already put in community hours, helping a nonprofit organization get ready for tonight. But no, we really are, especially with my athletes. I'm trying to show them, as we talked about, the holistic approach to a person, teaching them civic duty as well as other duties is your homework, your how you treat others, how you treat sportsmanship, and then also what you can do in the community for those possibly not as fortunate as you, whether it be hospital visits and things like that. So everyone in the room who's on Facebook, we do have a Facebook site. Hopefully you have seen it. Tomorrow we'll talk about that a little bit more and get you guys involved. And then we also have a parent group. On both of those sites, if you have been on those, I and my wife right now are very vigilant at trying to tell you about community activities that they can be part of, volunteering opportunities that you can be part of, and what's coming up. So you can get schedules, field trips, all kinds of things from that site. But it's the Facebook. I think it's I'll look at it and I'll let you know. But it's pretty easy to find. You type in entrepreneurship, the school for entrepreneurship, and we're probably the only school that'll come up, and you'll see us. And then as far as the parent group, anyone who finds it and then just ask me, I operate it, I'll add you. Does that answer your question?
It did, absolutely, thank you.
Let me add a couple things. So first, so remember I was talking to you about the ESLers, the setup for success. So the S in there is social responsibility. And so one of the things that we did in terms of organizing the school around the ESLers is finding having the faculty choose a particular thing that resonates with them and then be the spearhead for that particular thing. And so we have a social responsibility team of teachers who are going to be making sure that element of what we believe in is something that happens throughout our school. They're going to be making sure that in classes we find opportunities to promote social responsibility, and they're also going to be looking for events and community service, volunteering kind of events that we as a school can all gravitate behind. The other thing that Coach Brown mentioned, Facebook. So you guys see the camera up here. So we live stream most of the things that we do on campus, and today's event is not being live streamed because we're actually just switching from YouTube to Facebook, and so I haven't quite gotten it working yet, but I wanted to make sure that I recorded tonight's event so that we, because we have some new families who have not weren't able to come tonight or have not even yet enrolled in our school, and so I wanted to make sure that we had this kind of question and answer session for them recorded so they could watch it later. Yes, ma'am.
I don't see the lockers anymore for those athletes, laptops, bookcases. Are they going to be carrying all of this around with them to every single class?
So the lockers were actually underutilized and wound up being kind of more of a problem than a solution. So for our athletes, Coach Brown did save a couple of the lockers back so that the athletes, if they have equipment that they need to store, but for the bulk of the students, they are going to be carrying around their laptops. And for the most part, the laptops are used in every classroom. There's not a lot of, we don't have a lot of books that the students have to carry. So I remember when I was a kid, I used to have a big 100-pound bag that I used to carry around full of books, and so it's basically just the laptop and a few other things. So.
About volunteering, one of the things that we really do appreciate is when parents help out driving places, doing things around school, helping your child. So let me let you guys in on your future. Okay, so I am the father of 4 children, 4 grown children. Whoever said that. The thing that was kind of interesting as my kids were growing up, a lot of times they would say, no, Dad, I don't need you to be here, right? Well, soon enough that light bulb comes on, and it's usually later on in life, and they go, Dad, you remember when you were the only dad at that cheerleading meeting and you'd go to every single one of them? Thank you. That's what your kids are going to do to you. They're going to tell you don't do it, don't help. They're going to thank you for it. So do it anyway and say, I can do it because I'm your mom. That's what my mom used to tell me. Or I can do it because I'm your dad, and you'll get it later on. So please, please, please volunteer. Please help them, they're going to give you that look. I saw someone look already going on right now. They're like, no, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Oh, he does. I'm wise.
So let me add to that actually, because something that I heard recently really resonated with me, and I'm promising myself that I'm going to do the same when I have high school age kids.
You do?
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't remind me. So what I learned from this individual is that when kids are pushing you away, they don't really want you to be pushed away. They're doing that because that's what society is telling them to do. They're doing that because they're trying to form their own identity. But don't go away. They're going to push and push and push and push, but always be there. And so when I think back to my own childhood, there's so many times where I was, when I was forced to stay home on a Friday night, and I was like, oh, why aren't they letting me go out on the Friday night? Those are some of my fondest memories, of sitting on the couch and getting to be a kid again and watching, a movie with my parents. And there's so much pressure as children to be cool and to be doing things with friends. And if you're not doing things with friends, then you feel like you're a loser. And they probably really do want to be with you, but there's all this other pressure to try to be somebody else. And so even if they're pushing you away, don't go away.
You know what I absolutely love? Every parent is starting to smile and stand up a little taller and see every kid is doing this. Can we find another school? Any other questions?
Are you doing the camping next week? Oh, that's my daughter.
His high school daughter, that he seems to have forgotten that she's in high school now. She's going to 9th grade.
Yes, so for the freshmen, we are having a freshman orientation next week. And so we actually just went through the planning phases today on that. And so we're having kind of whole school orientation kind of activities on Monday and Tuesday. The camping is happening on Wednesday and Thursday. So it'll be, for the freshman parents in here, we'll send out emails with the details. But the camping is actually going to be down at, Miss Trish is a Girl Scout leader, and so she's secured us the Girl Scout campground down in Balboa Park. And so there'll be a drop-off down there at Balboa Park. If for some reason you can't drop off down there and need to drop off here, then we'll make sure that we get your students down there. They'll be overnighting, and it's some will be camping in tents, that's the preference, and others will be sleeping indoors in the cabin. Yes, ma'am?
Are you going to have fundraisers again this year, like the chili
Yes. So Tom, I guess he's not here right now, so he is, expect that we're going to be going pretty big with some of the fundraisers. We are hoping to not just be an entrepreneurship high school, but we're hoping to actually be leaders in the entrepreneurial community here in San Diego. And so there's going to be some pretty big events that will hopefully bring a lot of money into our school, and that you guys can all participate in, and that our students can participate in. So there are big plans. Okay, so you guys are welcome to, if you've got questions that are more personal, we'll be sticking around for a little bit. It's about 6 o'clock right now, I think, so I'll let you guys go. Oh, yeah, sorry.
If we have any parents, students who want a quick tour of the school, we have a couple of our peer counselors here. We have Sadie and Giselle here. They're waving over here in the corner, and they're here to answer any questions that you might have about the school. And then if you want to do a tour, they'll take some large groups around the school.
All right, great. We'll see you guys all bright and early tomorrow. Actually, anytime you want, we'll be here bright and early. So we're here from 8 until 3 tomorrow. Anytime you want to stop by is fine. Try not to stop by at 2:59 though. Thank you.